there's certain areas that we're all uncomfortable in. And so it's great to be able to delegate when you want the help too. Like, have someone help you, bring in the professional. Yeah. That's my other thing about your closet. It's a huge financial and time investment that you put into it. And as with any other investment, like, bring someone in to check under the hood every once in a while. Make sure it's working for you.
I'm Rachel Green, divorce mediator and collaborative attorney. Join me as I chat about everything from smoothly navigating your way through divorce to prenups, all the while keeping the kids in mind. Good morning. I'm Rachel Green, and welcome to Keep the Kids in Mind. Today we're doing something a little different. We are very lucky to have Allyson Holleb visiting us. She is a stylist and personal shopper with a superpower of helping people find their style and the clothes to go with it. For over 15 years, she's worked with women and men with the goal of taking the chore of getting dressed off their plate and helping them feel great and confident before they leave the house so they can spend their energy on other things. I thought we would talk to Allie today because, for one thing, she's really fun to talk to. And for another, she helped me pack for a trip and taught me things that just blew my mind. All these years I've lived without really knowing how to pack. And then we were talking and we realized that people who are going through a divorce might need help culling through things in their closet, out with the old, in with the new. She may have tips to help you with life transitions, because if you are well styled, you feel better in every moment of every day.
That's true.
Allie, thanks so much for coming on Keep the Kids in Mind.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I love talking with you, so I'm just excited to have this time too.
So, how did you become a stylist?
I have always worked in the retail, like apparel, fashion industry for most of my life. Started working for a personal shopping startup company, which turned out to be a sales data technology startup that sold clothes directly to the consumers. So we were all stylists. We had books of business, and we were finding ourselves clients, and we were helping clients find their style. And it was something I really loved doing. I loved connecting with everyone. Many of my clients are still in my life today. So I'm very much a relationship person. Once you're in, you're in. It just kind of went from there. I really saw how you dress could really impact your day. And it's not how you dress, but like dressing in a way that makes you feel really good.
So people who have gone through recent breakup and they're, trying to just find their legs and figure out, what this next phase of their life is like. How would you work with someone like that? And what are the tips you would give them?
Well, first, I just want to say, it doesn't even matter if you're going through a breakup. Everyone needs this help. I got an email this morning from a mom. She's like, I had 2 kids back to back, and I'm just a disaster. Everyone feels this way, especially right now. We're 5 years out from the pandemic, and I feel like we're really back to life in a way that we haven't been. People have events 5 nights a week in New York City, kind of life again, and people need to get dressed in a different way. And life is just different. And so my favorite thing to do is go through your closet with you, figure out what's working and what's not. We don't have to get rid of it. We just want to get it out of that space. I want your closet to be a space that you can encounter every day because you do, and not have any terrible thoughts, not see the thing that's too small, even though you're seeing it just for a second, every day for that 1 second, it stays with you. Just because you bought something that was expensive and you never wore it again, I'm so sorry that happened, but let's just get it out of there. You don't need to be reminded of that every day, because their closet really is about energy. It's all about energy. And what can we do to save your energy for the important stuff? And getting dressed is important, but we can do it in a way where you're not spending a lot of energy on it every day.
So I never really thought about that, but you're looking at things in your closet, and, I guess we all have things in our closets that we never wear.
Yep.
We don't intend to ever wear it again.
Yep.
So
there's a lot of emotion in the closet, and I'm not here to force you to do anything. All I want, this is a hot tip I will give to everybody, but if it's not working for you right now, just move it out of the way. Put it under your bed, put it in a bag in the corner, move it to the end of the rack in the closet that you never get to. I want you to open that closet and everything you look at to be an option today. That's all I'm asking.
So then that's interesting. So people who are going through transitions in their lives may have items of clothing I wore that when I got
emotional. Every time I go to someone's closet, depending on the person, they'll tell me a story. Every piece of clothing they put on, they'll tell me the story behind it. Some will do it for every single piece, some more emotional. Everyone has these emotional attachments to clothes because they're part of our everyday lives, right? And they're important, even though we don't like to think
Men
of it.
too?
Men too, definitely. Men too. Women are more emotional, Rachel, right? That's what we're learning these days. That's sarcasm. Men too.
Well, I guess men are allowed to have emotion now.
Men have emotions that they don't always like to show, maybe, but they hold on to them in certain ways. And men also feel uncomfortable in their clothes a lot of the time. They're not proud of what they're putting forth. So, yeah, my favorite, what really like hooked me on this, or what really got me sold on this, was when I was working at my startup. A guy came into shop and he left wearing this like chunky cardigan. And it was like not his style. He's like he's a veteran. It was like cool. You know, it was very hip. And I don't use this word ever, but some might call it metrosexual, right? Not what he would normally wear. And he texted me the next day and he said, I had the best night of my life and I met this girl. And this was 15 years ago. It's his wife and mother of his children at this point. And I'm fully convinced that he was feeling so good that night that the energy he was putting out is what allowed him to go talk to her. If he hadn't been wearing that sweater, he might not have been feeling as swaggy or as confident. And who knows what the night might have brought him, right? So what you wear matters, because it's when you walk down the street feeling confident, you get different energy back. That's just kind of how it all goes. I want everything in that closet to somehow make you feel good and not terrible or bad.
So change your sweater and you may change your life.
You never know. Yeah, I like that. That's all it takes. But again, I'm not here to force you into a sweater you don't want to wear. I want to find the one that makes you feel good. That's my goal.
So what are the kinds of stories that people tell you about their clothing?
Oh my. I mean, I wore this when I did this thing, or my grandma bought this for me, or this was sometimes there's pieces that you love to have in your closet that are sentimental that you don't have to get rid of. I don't care. I just want to make it easier for you. Everyone has story. I'm wearing this dress and I can think of 30 stories right now, right? It doesn't mean I'm going to tell you everyone if we're trying them all on together, but it's just really interesting how the relationship that people have to their clothes, and like how we don't give it a lot of space to recognize that. I always say there's no such thing as effortless style. Effort goes in at some point. So maybe it's at the day you go shopping. Maybe that's the effort. And you come home knowing exactly what you're going to do with those clothes. Maybe it's spending time with me for 2 hours, going through your closet, and then you're done. Then you have the outfits. You don't have to put the effort forth anymore. We've already determined what's working. I have a friend who every day loves to like play dress up in her closet, and she'll send me 12 pictures of outfits for one event. And to me, that makes me want to, that's not how I work with my clients. It's not, my clients want help. They don't want to do that, but she loves playing in her closet. Everyone has different ways of existing, when it comes to this stuff.
So she texts you 12 pictures.
She'll send me pictures for an event or for a meeting, or she's presenting, whatever it is, a party. So she just loves to dress up in her closet. Yeah. She loves it.
That's very cute.
But what it drives me bananas, because it's not how I like to work with my clients. I want to make this easy for you. Let's find that one dress that you love and wear it all the time. Then you don't have to think about it and you're happy every time you put it on. But that's not how she wants to do it. And so I've learned so much from that. Like everyone just has different approaches, everyone plays differently in there.
And do you see closets in very varying states of?
We all feel that way in different areas of our lives, right? There's certain areas that we're all uncomfortable in. And so it's great to be able to delegate when you want the help too. Like have someone help you, bring in the professional. Yeah. That's my other thing about your closet. It's a huge financial and time investment that you put into it. And as with any other investment, like bring someone in to check under the hood every once in a while, make sure it's working for you,
Yeah. Well, after you helped me pack for my trip to Switzerland in February.
I believe it was February.
And it really stayed with me. One of the things you did that was so helpful was just I really hadn't thought about organizing. Like any other time that I packed for a trip, I would just look at things and go, oh, I'll enjoy wearing this. I'll enjoy wearing this, that shirt I like, and not really kind of, taking a step back. And then I always ended up with more than would fit in my bag. And, if you're doing a car trip, it's not that big a deal to throw an extra bag in or, squeeze it in above the groceries, squeeze
Right.
in that another pants and shirt. But when you're flying, you're more limited.
Mhm.
And like to put it all, like get it all on the bed and then look at it and go, oh, okay, I put, 5 pairs of pants here. I
Right.
probably don't need 5. What goes with what,
When I pack and I overpack, I'm always annoyed because I'm spending a lot of time thinking about what I'm wearing rather than just grabbing. Like I'm not at home. I don't want to do that. I want to go out and do the thing. I don't want to worry about what I'm wearing.
So you don't even want to make decisions. You want everything to just.
That's how I like to get dressed. I'm at a point where I've been wearing some of the same things. I'm an outfit repeater, and I've been wearing some of the same things for so long that I don't even, some days I leave the house and I realize I haven't even looked in the mirror. But I've worn that outfit so many times that I don't have to think. It's just the older I get, the more people I encounter who don't enjoy it. So we can make this easy. It doesn't have to be complicated. And I recently read an article, and it referred to, there was a model at some point and she went to a party, like a fashion week party, and she was wearing a red suit and she loved it. And so she wore it again the next night to another party. And a lot of people came up to her and were like, you wore that yesterday. And she was like, yeah. And she said, but I love it. Basically, fuck you, pardon my French. And wore it every day for a month. And it's like, so your basics don't have to be black, your basic could be that red suit that you just feel kick ass in and makes you want to conquer the world. And that's what you should wear every day.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, that's such an interesting approach to. I remember I read an article about a woman who worked, in a corporate environment, like where they weren't having corporate casual all the time. Yeah. And she was noticing that, like, I think she worked there, then she had a baby, then she came back to work, and her body changed as we as women, our bodies
they do.
Yes. And she was looking at how the men all had a uniform. Mm-hmm. They were all wearing, black, gray, brown, blue suits, shirts, ties. They're mixing up the colors, but that's it. They have a uniform. They don't have to really think about, they have 2 suits. They rotate them. I mean, I remember my father used to wear, gray, blue, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and brown Tuesday and Thursday.
That's very funny. Yeah.
I mean, had shirts, different shirts in the brown family, different shirts in the gray, blue family, but that's as much as varied. So she thought, let me find a dress that could be my uniform. Mm-hmm. And she found this, like, flattering, comfortable, stretchy black dress. And she bought 5 of them.
Great.
And she started wearing it every single day to work. She would, accessorize it a little bit, wear a belt one day, wear a scarf another day. No one ever noticed that she was wearing like the same thing every day.
No one cares.
No one cared. And she said it's just like brightened her whole life.
And
that's
it took
getting dressed.
Right. And it allowed the focus to be on her work. Like, and as women, unfortunately, it's something we do have to think about, especially in environments like that. I work with people who work in like corporate environments where suits are the typical for a man. Women really have to figure out how to dress in a way that doesn't call attention to them. We're often talking about necks being too low or too much skin. And so it can be really hard. So it's amazing that she found that and that she didn't feel pressure to like look different, because honestly, if you're good at your job, that's what matters, right? If you're like a killer in the boardroom, that's what everyone's going to remember, not what you wore. But flip side, men don't have a lot of room for creativity. They're starting to more now, but they don't have the same options that we do. So when I sold clothes to men for many years, and they had nowhere to go. They were like, oh, I'm so sick of this. Ties and pocket squares or socks became their big way to express themselves. But then a woman just called me. Her husband got a new job, and he's used to being in a corporate environment, suits. And now he doesn't know what to wear. So it's very confusing for him. So he needs help figuring out this next round. So again, everyone's in new chapters at all points, not just breakup related.
So have you worked with people who like have you come in and say, I want to change everything. I want a whole new look.
Of course.
Like, what are some examples of why people or how people did that, or like the old look versus the new look?
Sometimes I think it's like that one moment where like your clothes made a difference that you noted. You're like, oh, I'm more open to this now. I want to think about it more. It's hard because people say that, but no one actually wants to throw out their whole closet and start over, right? Because that's an expensive and time-consuming proposition. interesting right now with the onslaught of weight loss drugs and like what that's doing for people in their closets also. I was just speaking to another friend who's a stylist, and she said that last January was like the busiest she's ever been because all of her clients had lost so much weight that they all needed new clothes. But now this year they're all good, right? So everyone like everyone goes through it. So again, that's why I find it really important to go see what people have in their closets, because that really informs us. People don't really need to like revamp their entireness, right? And like there's tropes of it in movies. We make fun of the dad who does that after his divorce, right? So there's ways to do it. It's all about like stepping into like how you feel and what's going to make you feel best that day. So like you can tell me it's a full style overhaul, sure, but really it's like I'm going to get you a couple blazers and you're going to feel like a new man at the end of the day. Or the other thing that we haven't even touched on is how your clothes fit. So rather than style overhaul, oftentimes it's like, oh, you just don't have clothes that fit you. So I just worked with a client, and we got him. He had like another problem men have is like shirts. Shirts are made like shirts, and not all men are, as women too. Like we don't all fit into small, medium, large, right? Or men's shirts come in neck sizes oftentimes. And if your neck is thicker than the rest of your body, then you've never had a shirt that fits you in your life. So we just made him some custom shirts where we take measurements. He chooses the fabric, we do it together, and then he gets the shirts made for him. And he said, I've been skipping around and I'm never buying clothes like regular clothes ever again. You guys changed my life. So fit, I can't believe it took till now, because my first question always is fit. Like if it doesn't fit you, nothing matters. And if it does fit you, then we can learn a lot and go from there. So style tends to not be style, but more fit. People want to look good and feel good, and they don't necessarily always want to stand out. You just want to like feel good. So style is all about what makes you feel good, right? So that would be my style overhaul ending, kind of would be. So like
then this guy, like this story is blowing my mind that he can't find
men. So like he's like a size 17 neck, which would kind of equate to like an extra large, we'll call it. But the rest of his body is more like a large. So he was buying shirts to fit his neck. This happens all the time. But then they're too big everywhere else. They're too long in the sleeves. They're too maybe you're barrel chested, so it fits you in your chest, but then it's super baggy around your waist, right? And we can adjust for that. Or everyone needs a good tailor. You don't have to buy custom clothes. You can have them fixed. But not all clothes can be fixed. So if we can make them to fit you a little bit better, nothing's perfect, but it's definitely a lot more positive. And I really believe in like understanding what you need and investing in it, and then like stop shopping. Wear the stuff we just bought that we maybe spend a lot of money on, but wear it, because it'll be the best stuff you ever bought. It'll be the stuff I want it to be, the stuff you're always reaching for, the things you want to wear all the time.
And now, how about, do you think that kids need help with their closets when their parents go through a divorce?
Probably. So what I really want to be doing right now is getting my hands into all of my clients' kids' closets, because everyone spends money on their kids and then their kids fight them and no one wants to deal. And then their kids' closets are overflowing with clothes that no one's ever going to wear again. So that's really where I want them to throw me in, because I've helped a few kids get dressed for their bat mitzvahs. And what happens is, and this is what I've learned also over the years when I'm working with like couples or men in particular, sorry guys, I can say the same thing that your mom or your wife said, and you're going to hear it very differently from me, because we weren't fighting that morning about picking up clothes off the floor. There's no emotion the emotion isn't there. So kind of like a mediator, right? So I can come in and say the exact same thing mom said a little bit differently, and we'll find you the perfect dress without mom's will being imposed, right? Like there's a happy medium, and I can help us get there. And so I do. And I think it's a way for kids to start, I'm sure everyone sees it with their own kids, but they start expressing themselves through clothes, right? We all do that in our own way, through accessories, through how we present. Maybe it's your hair. Maybe it's they want a lot of earrings. Like I'm making all these things up. But if it would be like a nice thing for them to have a person in the room with them, listening to them, not as a parent, but being like, what do you need in here? What can we do to make this work for you in here? So yeah, I do think kids could really benefit from that, especially if they're going to be moving or if they're going to be bouncing around a lot. Something I love to do with the packing is like, tell me your itinerary and we can come up with like what you're going to need for each event, right? And so we can kind of think about that with a kid. Maybe we know that you're going to need these. Maybe we get like sets of pajamas, your favorite pajamas, and we get them for both houses. And maybe like I'm a good person to be an intermediary for that conversation. But I do think, especially the older they get and the less they want to talk to you, bringing someone else in could always be a good thing if possible.
Yeah. I mean, as you just observed, I certainly see that same effect in mediation.
Definitely.
I mean, it's sometimes right in front of me.
Right.
One of them will say something, and then I say, "So wait, are you meaning that, X, Y, and Z?" And they go, "Yes."
Yes.
And the other person just said it.
Right. Exactly. It's like, it's like
they tune them out. They're like,
yes.
there they go again.
Yes.
I don't want to listen to this. And then,
exactly.
but they don't have that same exhaustion listening to me.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. We're still new here.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think like anyone can benefit from it, because at the end of the day, it's like tapping into you and what's working for you and how we can make you feel better every day.
Yeah.
And that could be a 13-year-old, or it could be a 39-year-old, or it could be a 78-year-old, it could be.
Well, I was just going to ask you what takeaways you want to leave people with. And then you said beautiful takeaways. Anybody can benefit from this.
Yeah.
Whether you're 13 or 39.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think like, I don't want people, like, it's been made out to be frivolous, and I just want everyone to remember it's not. And you don't have to think about it all the time, but thinking about it a little bit will just make everything feel better every day.
Yeah. And when you have clothes that you love, I think you do feel different going through them.
Yes. Like I love my...
And I love these pants, and every time I touch them, it makes me feel happy.
Yeah. I have these, I like to wear clothes I was with my cousin and she's pregnant, and she said, I want clothes that I can like wear even when I'm not pregnant. And I was like, as long as you're okay with looking pregnant all the time, you can do that. That's what I like to do. So I have like saggy overalls, I call them, but they're like cool. And this one pair I've had probably for 10 years. And just last night, someone complimented me on them. And I was like, I can't express how many times I've worn them. I call it the cost per use theory. So these have definitely like cost per use is great at this point on this set of clothes.
Makes sense.
But I love it. And so I know when I leave the house that I feel cool. I might look saggy. I might look all these ways, but I know I like it with my sneakers. I know I like it with my Birkenstocks. I want to be comfortable, if you can't tell. And I just know that. And then I leave the house and I'm not wondering how I'm not fidgeting all day, or like I'm physically uncomfortable, or like thinking I'm uncomfortable, like I'm not pulling at making sure my buttons aren't pulling on my shirt all day, stuff like that. So it really does make a difference in how your day goes.
And also people going through challenging transitions are going through enough.
Yes.
And, to also be uncomfortable in your clothes.
Yes.
It's just going to add an extra stress.
Yeah. And I was thinking, actually coming into this, like imagine walking into your next mediation or your next lawyer session feeling awesome about how you look, instead of just being like, oh, I grabbed this thing because I don't have the strength to even think about it. And then you show up and you feel frumpy and gross, right? Like we all do, please don't get me wrong, but you can throw on a dress that's really easy that covers. Right now I feel my belly rolling over itself, but no one sees it because my dress is very flowy. So great, I can leave that. I'm going to leave this and I'm going to go for a walk and I'm going to feel cool and good, and no one's going to see the things that make me uncomfortable.
And also when you're having a meeting with your ex, it'll just give you that much more comfort.
Exactly. It's like an ex. There's like people who you might not be comfortable with. There's all these things that are playing into that room or that meeting. And if you can walk in feeling good, it's just going to give you a little more confidence when you sit down at that table or on that Zoom, right? And help the meeting go more how you want it to go.
Well, Allie, it's always a pleasure to speak with you.
I love it, Rachel.
And thank you for coming on. Keep the kids in mind and telling my audience about your services. We'll put your contact information in the show notes.
Great. Thank you so much. I love talking to you always.
And everybody take care. And Allie can help you feel your best self.
Yeah, I'm here to help.
Keep the kids in mind, because you won't be thinking about your belly.
And you're going to have all the energy for them because we're going to save it. You're not going to feel bad about getting dressed every day when you go in your closet.